Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SIREN. And welcome back to doing another second objective, though this is one from a mission that we did a while back now. This is going to be the mission where Reiko sacrifices herself to save Harumi. There's something else we need to do there, and it's something that we actually needed to do a lot of previous missions in order to do. I'm pretty sure this is more than any second objective in any other level needs. We're going to continue. We're going to take a look at this level. We want to go to Reiko Takato, go down to day 1, 23 o'clock. The description is, while hiding in the storeroom, Harumi recounts the dream she saw, spurring Reiko to draw the young girl tight. An inhuman voice echoes in the distance, and they are again struck with fear. We're going to go into this mission, which starts out with Reiko.
Dream about Miyako.
Yep, Harumi in the storehouse. They're talking about Miyako.
Does she live with your auntie?
Reiko doesn't know who she is because the people of the village don't know who Miyako is. Harumi, of course, though, is friends with her, as we saw in the previous mission where she found a doll that Harumi had made for her.
Dog with her.
I guess Harumi is Miyako's only friend, since she is not allowed to actually talk to anyone else in the village, or even officially exist.
You're the only person I've told, Mrs. Staccato.
Yeah, Harumi has not told anyone else about Miyako.
Okay? Promise?
I promise. So, she's your secret sister. How about if I be your mother? Megumi.
So, what do we need to do here the second time around? The first objective was just to help Harumi escape. Notice that this objective does not actually mention escaping yourself. It's to help Harumi escape, since Reiko does not actually escape. At least not alive. She leaves as a Shibito, but that doesn't really count now, does it? Objective 2 is to do the same thing, but before we help Harumi escape, we have to light the lanterns in order. So what does that mean? Well, we might as well take a look at what we always take a look at with these second objectives. Take a look at the hints. The one we're looking at is here, day 1, 23, 45, 18. It says to pay attention to the praying woman. The first one is the lion. So that seems kind of odd. What does that mean? Well, it said that we have to light the lanterns. Now, we have seen lanterns in this level. If you don't remember, don't worry. We'll see them again. And it said we had to light them in order. So that's the trick. What kind of order would there be? And that's what this hint is talking about. It says we need to pay attention to the praying woman, and that the first one is the lion. So we're going to have to find this praying woman. Now, I mentioned that this mission requires the most number of missions to be done before it to be able to do this one. What we have to do, well, do you remember way back at the beginning of the game, like way back at the beginning, there were some missions where we had to knock over markers? Like a character would knock over a stone marker, and then underneath the marker there would be like a stone disc that would then retract into the ground. You remember that? It was a while back, so I don't blame you if you don't remember. But there were 4 of those, and in order to do this second objective, we have to find all 4 of those markers. So we already did that way back at the beginning. And the reason we had to do that is because every time you knocked over one of those markers, the corresponding lantern would now be opened up, and you would be able to light it. So to light all 4 lanterns, you first have to knock over all 4 of those markers. Then the 5th thing you have to do is hide Harumi in the elementary school, in the closet, so she finds these candles. So now you can use these candles to light the lanterns. So you have to do those 5 things in those missions in order for this mission to be completable. Otherwise, you can't do it. But now the last thing we have to figure out is what is the order that these need to be lit in. Well, it said we need to be paying attention to the praying woman. Well, that's Harumi. So let's sidetrack around. and see if we can find anything that might be of interest. Something that could help us out here. Here's someone walking around. Keep looking around, see what else we can find. Someone else. That's a guy, though. That is not a woman. You can tell by the groaning. There's someone who's walking pretty close to us. But no, they're going to turn away. They walked a little bit further straight on than they would have seen us, but they did not. There's Harumi again. Alright, so I found this one Shibito who was walking around. And I believe that this is the person that I'm looking for. It said I had to pay attention to the praying woman. So what we need to do is sightjack around until we find one particular Shibito who is going to walk around this level and go to each of the lanterns and pray at them. So, as we're trying to figure out what is the order that we should light these lanterns in, well, this Shibito knows. She knows the order. So we have to watch her and see where she goes. Figure out what the order of these lanterns are, because there's really nothing else on these lanterns that will indicate what the order is. And we could light them out of order. It doesn't do anything, but we could do it. But we want to actually complete the second objective, so this is the only way we can. We're going to have to tag along, sightjack-wise, with this one Shibito who's walking around. And she will do a circuit of the entire level, because the lanterns, they are separated all around. She's walking through the gate that Kiyoya bashed open a while back. And there is a lantern right to the left as you come through this gate. Alright, yeah, here she goes. She's praying. She's praying at this lantern. And you can see there's like an icon on the lantern. It's like some kind of animal. What do you think that is? The Shibito's prayer sounding a little sing-songy. And she continues on. So, we know about this one lantern. But which one is going to come next? You have to keep paying attention. I'm not sure if I would consider this clue to be a difficult one to figure out. The clue says pay attention to the praying woman. And, well, there is this one Shibito that does go around praying at all of the lanterns. You just have to take the time to notice it, though. If you don't notice it, I'm not sure how long it would take you to figure out. This Shibito is not going to just walk up the stairs or the ramp. She's just pulling herself up. Because you know the objective of this level is to light the lanterns in order, so the clue in the manual must be referring to how you find out what that order is. And it says that the first one in the order is the lion. So that would be our starting point. And then we can see the order that this Shibito is walking around to the lanterns. And once we see what that order is, we can determine the starting point by figuring out which one is the lion lantern. Each lantern corresponds to an animal, and I think it also corresponds to a marker the 4 markers that we had knocked over way back, I think each of them had an animal icon on them as well. Here's another lantern. She's praying. And there is another animal. Kind of looks like a goat, I think, this one. So now we know about 2. I couldn't tell you how the markers are connected to the lanterns. How did the Hanadin people build these contraptions, these markers, that after you open them up, they would open up these lanterns that are just way far away? How did they do that? I don't know. I don't know how they work, but they did it. We could see the 3rd lantern in the distance. This area is near the truck, the broken down truck. Yeah, you can see it right there. That Reiko released the parking brake on the first time round in this mission. Kind of hard to see the icon on this one. You can just kind of barely see it. What do you think that looks like? Looks like some kind of face, I think. But that's number 3 out of 4 lanterns. Now, after Reiko releases the parking brake on that truck, it will crash into the gap and make a bridge that we can go across, but we haven't done that yet, so this Shibito is not going to be able to walk across that truck either. Just a dead end in that direction. So she is going back the way she came. And again, throughout this playthrough, I have mentioned now and again that the game does expect that when you go into a level, that you will take the time to sight jack the Shibito, to see what they're doing, to learn their patterns. It's just a part of how the game is played. So, taking the time to do this with this one praying Shibito, I don't think it's that out of the question that you would end up doing this, just because you would have had to do this kind of thing as you've gone through the game up to this point. I mean, of course, since I have played the game before, and I already know what the solutions and the pathways are, it may seem a little easier than it actually is when you play it yourself. But when you play it yourself, I think most people will say that they have a tough time getting past even Taman's first level. That's like a wall that people run into. Like, they do the level with Kiyoya and the cop pretty easily. And then there's the one where Kiyoya is following Hisako, and that one's easy. Then you get to the level with Taman, and that's the first real level, where there's no tutorial. And you have to actually fight Shibito. And you don't know where to go. And I think for a lot of people, that's a wall that they run into, and they don't know what to do at that point and get stuck. Like, even just that early in the game, it happens. The game does expect you to be methodical. To take your time and have patience. And work out what the Shibito are doing and what the layout of the level is. And where you might have to go to avoid combat, to avoid running into a Shibito. And then sometimes you might see a Shibito doing something that's a bit unusual. like this one is right now. Alright, she's heading back to one of the lanterns that she has already prayed at. That was the first one we saw. Yeah, she's not praying at that one, because she's already done that. And there is a fourth lantern that she has to find. Of course, since the Shibito are all about maintaining patterns, doing the same thing over and over, I'm sure she's just having a wonderful time doing this. I mean, religion is important to the Haruden people. I mean, you could be spending your time patrolling with a flashlight, looking for human beings to kill and turn into Shibito. Or you could be spending your time building the nest, you know, with hammer and nails. Or you could spend your time doing what this one's doing and wandering around between four lanterns, praying repeatedly. Because what else are you going to do? You can see that she is walking back in our general direction. You can see our crosshairs there. You can actually see Reiko right there. Yeah, but the Shibito did not see Reiko. Shibito's walking up the road. This is actually where we first sightjacked her. She was walking down from this road. She's walking back up to a little nook where there are some graved I was about to say tombstones, but not stones, they're wood, shaped in the mana cross. And in that little alcove, there is the fourth lantern. And on that one, the icon looks kind of like, I think, a bird. Hard to see on this one. Yeah, it's not really appearing right now, but as she was walking towards it, it looked like a bird. Anyway, time for Reiko to take action. I'm going to pick up this lantern. Not lighter. Pick up a lighter. And we're going to tell Harumi to hide here, just so she'll be out of the way while we do this. First of all, why don't we go up here and meet our tour guide? There she is. This is who we've been following around. Thanks for the help. I just wanted to do that. We have to now go to these four lanterns and light them in order. So the hint said that the first one is the lion. So we have seen the four icons. And, I mean, there is some room for interpretation as to what they look like. You have to try to guess at which one you think looks like the lion. But it is actually this one, the first one that we saw, the Shibito walk to. I guess. I guess you could say that's a lion. Maybe it's a lion. We lit it. There's a lantern that has been lit. All right, so we know the order. We know where we have to go. That's the lion, and so from there, we're just going to light these in the same order that we've seen them lit. Oh, Reiko can't climb up there. The Shibito could, but Reiko cannot. Oh, while we're here, actually. That's right. Almost forgot something. Let's just go down here. Just to save us some trouble. Let's get the keys to the rusted truck. So we'll be able to use that as a bridge coming back. Here is the second. And this one, I was thinking, looked kind of like a goat. That's two. Third one was down here, past, well, that's the exit to the level, where Reiko is going to get blowed up. But we don't want to go there quite yet. I mean, the scene would not activate without Harumi here anyway. Here's the third. And kind of looks like a face. Sure. That's 3 out of 4. Now let's head up here, where the abandoned truck is. And we can use the key to get inside. I think I picked up that cassette last time. Let's just make sure. Yeah, requirements are already fulfilled, so I did pick it up the first time. Alright, we could try to start the engine. Unfortunately, it does not do anything. But the parking brake still does something. We don't have to do that for this level. That's actually for something else entirely. As it says here, that's for an Objective 2 with Tomoko that we haven't done yet. But we can take advantage of it right now. So walk over here and to the fourth and final lantern, which, like I said, I think that looks like a bird.
What is that?
It's a good question. What was that? 4 balls of light flew up from the lanterns in the air. And it says that because we did that, Kyo Yasuda, Day 3, 23 o'clock, Objective 2, the requirements have been fulfilled. So that's something that we'll find about later. And then the light has gone off in this lantern. Well, it had been lit, but it is not anymore. We got an archive item after doing that. We should take a look at it. Yeah, Book of Deliverance, Kiruden. It says that this describes the holy beast that guards paradise. Kiruden, on guard and armed with a flaming sword, sits a heavenly creature at paradise's gate. Part lion, part bull, part human, part eagle. It's a 4-headed beast. Alright, so yeah, the third head was human. That was a face that we saw. So I guess that's what these lanterns represent. And now we have lit all 4 lanterns in order, and something happened. We also have something else that we got last time from Miyako's level, the little cutscene where it was very distorted and it was hard to see what was going on from last time. This is about the fruit of Vieda, which is said to grant eternal life. In paradise grow 2 holy trees, of which the Lord doth say, do not eat the fruit they bear, as I have decreed it, forbidden. Like I said last time, it does seem like certain elements of the Hanadan religion have gotten wrapped up with Christianity. But now that we have done that, let's head back to where Harumi is hiding out, in here. Here she is.
Mrs. Ducato.
Yep, Mrs. Ducato is right here.
Out of here.
We're getting out of here. Well, Harumi's getting out of here. Not so much Reiko. We can use that truck as a shortcut to get back up here to where we need to be. Oh, she's trailing behind because Harumi is slow because her legs are small. Now we can go.
So, this is what they're carrying. Hide here for now and run when it's safe. You can do that, can't you? Don't worry, I'll be right behind you. Okay.
So some people asked, what happens if you try to fight the Shibito in this upcoming scene where the Shibito have noticed Harumi and they're coming after her, and then we have to distract them
Harumi!
With the car horn.
Don't give up.
Well, the thing is, we're actually on a tight timetable in this scene. Like, they're walking towards Harumi right now, and if they reach her, it's an automatic loss, of course. But then we can honk the horn, and now they're going to come towards us. Except if you look at them, right now, the middle one turns around and starts walking back towards Harumi. That's the game's way of preventing us from doing anything else than this. Because before we could do anything, that Shibito is going to reach Harumi, and it will be an automatic game over. So this is why we can't actually fight the Shibito. We can't actually do anything else except this, because we're on that little timetable right here of that third Shibito walking towards Harumi. That's why we have to use this later. We can't actually fight him.
Mrs. Staccato!
And with that, Mission 2 has been accomplished, and that is the last time we will be playing as Reiko.
This is my blood. An eternal pact of salvation. I'm sorry, but I had no choice. You used to be so pure.
So that scene takes place at after midnight on day 2. Previously, we saw a scene where Miyako and Kiyoya fell asleep in the abandoned house, and then we saw a scene where Miyako had left the house to talk to her sister Ayako, and I guess this takes place right after that. Miyako comes back into the house, and she finds that Kiyoya is sort of tossing and turning and moaning. He seems to be in some kind of distress. So Miyako cuts her hand, and then cuts Kiyoya's hand, and puts their two hands against each other. Now, the next time we see Kiyoya and Miyako, they wake up in the house because Shibito have arrived, and Kiyoya seems fine after that. So this is a cutscene that happens between those scenes. Miyako saying that this is her blood and she's sorry, but she has no choice. So that's maybe a little gap that's been filled in that was left open previously. But that's it for this time on Siren. It's not it for next time on Siren, because next time on Siren is not even begun. But it's that. What? No, it's it for this time on Siren. I'm probably tired and saying words that don't belong in the places and the sentences that they're appearing. We're going to save. What's happening next time, I should say. I'm trying to think about what... I think it is just a second objective again. I don't think we have a new mission yet. I think there is going to be a second objective, and I think what that second objective is we are going back to that level with the nest, if I remember right. And we have a second objective in that mission, as we have to open up an alternate exit in the nest. If I'm remembering this right, that is what we're doing. We're going back with Kiyoya and Yoriko, as they have something else to do there. And I'll be seeing you then next time.